All right. Happy November.
Happy, yeah, rabbits, as Cindy Lloyd says.
Rabbit.
Texted me this morning.
Cindy Lloyd, she texted me
Yep.
like 4 in the morning. I was just
people
as
are early
excited.
risers.
Yes. So, welcome us back. You and I were at a conference 2 weeks ago in Long Beach. And then last week at this time, we had a little something going on as well. Yep. So thanks to Ashley and Leslie for running the city effectively, and other people. And thanks to Ashley and Leslie for the parade. And happy birthday, Carmel, 108 yesterday.
Looking good for a 108-year-old.
We're looking great. Looking great. And everyone who took part in the parade, another great parade, really just this kind of classic hometown. I know that you had to miss it for a valid reason, a very valid reason. But thanks to everyone who took part and organized, and it was a nice afternoon. What else do I have, my friend? I've got also thanks. We had 2 half days. Looking at the contents, or moving toward a draft. We don't have a draft yet of the Carmel Forest Management Plan. So that's a work in progress. We're rewriting our existing plan. So thanks to everyone who took part in that. And obviously that's a very public process. When we get a draft, we'll begin the CEQA process. And it's just a good reminder of the importance of our urbanized village. And our council meeting, we've got a doubleheader next week. On Monday at 3:30, we're going to go look at the Mission Trail Nature Preserve. We did 3 stream bed alteration projects with the help of some parks grant from the state and grants. And so we're going to kind of celebrate that by showing the completed project to the council. The field trips are always part of the public hearing process. The public is welcome to meet us and tag along and hear about them. So that's kind of a celebration tour. And then we'll come back here and do mostly the consent agenda, with the exception of real property negotiations regarding Rio Park, which is the piece of property on the riverside of the Carmel Mission that the city bought in 1986. Just a reminder that there are very few things the city council, any city council or board of supervisors in California can do in closed session. One of them is real property negotiations. Why?
Because
because you don't want to show who you're negotiating against, what your plans are, what your offer is, or what your lease is.
I just want to make sure you knew.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. But inevitably, as we talked about, anything that takes place in closed session, there's a open session final decision on that.
And a discussion with the community.
Yeah.
So again, closed sessions are very, they're very preliminary to an open session discussion.
Yep.
So anyway, we can talk about that more maybe at one of our more subject-oriented vlogs. And then Tuesday, we have kind of a short agenda. For obvious reasons, because it's the election. You're going to talk about the election night event. One of the items that we have on that agenda is the Santa Rita and Guadalupe Sewer Main Rehabilitation Project, which is a combination of potholing and pipe bursting, where they pull a new sewer pipe through the existing one and it bursts the old one, made of, there's a pipe called Orangeburg, or clay, or Galvy, or whatever.
Flexing your
garbage, yeah. So just to make sure this sewage stays in the pipe. And then we've got first reading for the Assembly Bill 413. I'm a little off my game today. The daylighting bill. Yeah, I've got a candy hangover from last night, and a couple of other items. So hope to see you there. Come. This is part of the public process. We welcome and look forward to your comments and questions. And just one more item I have, Brandon, is that CAUD, the Carmel Area Wastewater District, and they're the quasi-governmental agency that processes our wastewater and Pebbles and Big Surs and the Carmel Valleys. They'll be holding a public meeting at the Carmel Foundation on Wednesday, the 6th, at 5:30 in the afternoon to talk about this project as well. It's not going to be hugely disruptive, but obviously traffic will be rerouted during this. It'll be a multi-week project. So we'll hear about that from CAUD on both Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yep. Great.
That's what I got.
Okay, thanks. You probably saw by now, we did send out an e-blast to everyone. The city's been partnering with our friends at the Carmel Foundation, thanks to Kim Stemler and her team, and the Monterey County Behavioral Health Department. We are going to be having what are called crisis management briefings next week, related to the events last week on Friday. Tuesday, from 9 to 11, this is going to be an event at the foundation. This is really targeted specifically to those who sheltered in place at the foundation during that day. So this isn't a broader community meeting. This is for anyone who found themselves locked down in the foundation building, because it's a little different conversation there. And then Wednesday from 3:30 to 5 in the Chapman Room at Sunset Center. This is anyone from the community is welcome that wants to just come. And again, this is not to go over the series of events. This is not a debriefing by the police. We're not talking about it. This is put on and done by the crisis management folks at Behavioral Health to talk about, what feelings you might be having, how to recover from a traumatic incident like this. It's really about healing. So if you feel like you need some of that, Wednesday from 3:30 to 5 for the broader community.
Yeah, and this is, we partner, and thanks to Sunset Center for the room, obviously.
Absolutely.
But, most cities do not have behavioral health departments. That's usually handled by the 58 counties in the state of California. And this is one of the departments they specialize in.
Yeah. So we appreciate our friends at the county helping us.
Yeah,
with
we
this.
really do. We really do. And part of the message I understand they're also going to share is recognizing signs when someone is in distress.
Yeah.
So recognizing mental health situations, and then making sure that people know who to contact and how that communication is made.
Yeah, but I can't stress enough that this is not an event to talk about
and we're not
the ins and outs of the incident or why somebody did or didn't do something. This is about recovering from that. So please note that.
Yep, and we're not sponsoring it. And
and then you talked a little bit about next Tuesday night. It is election night, which is exciting. It's been a lot of excitement around this year's election. As always, we're going to have our after city council event, cake, light refreshments. So please come, hang out. That's why we have a light agenda for city council, so that we can then have the results of our local election real time available here for people to talk about, just kind of meet and come back together after the election. So that's Tuesday night, immediately following city council. And then the other thing, just to let you know about Chip and everybody else out there, is that we are working with our CEQA specialist through our city attorney's office to develop a CEQA 101 course for city council, planning commission, everybody, and the community members as well, because there has been a lot of interest in CEQA lately. And frankly, not to disparage anybody, but I think that the course is important because I do believe I've been a CEQA practitioner for many years, as have you. Both of us are planners. There's a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings about what CEQA is and isn't, and that's understandable because CEQA is incredibly complicated. And so the goal of this 101 level course is to set a foundational understanding of how CEQA works and what it does and doesn't do. For example, we've heard people say things like, when a project is exempted from CEQA, that we're not doing CEQA. That's actually not true, but exempting something from CEQA is part of the CEQA process, and there's an evaluation that takes place in order to be able to exempt something. So we'll get into, at least that'll probably be the most detail we'll go into, but we want to set a foundational understanding for folks because thankfully, and I appreciate this and I know you do too, people are interested in CEQA.
Yep.
That's great, and they should be. It's an important law. So, sets of laws. So anyway, keep an eye out for that here in the next couple months. We'll have a CEQA 101 level course. Yeah,
and we get training as professional planners on an annual basis on CEQA because it changes. The legislature makes changes to the statutory or categorical exemptions. There's case law that makes decisions that impact and change the law. So it's very dynamic. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's something we probably should do on at least an annual basis with the Planning Commission and Council, and that's something we hope to do in the new year as well.
Absolutely. That's all I got.
All right, it's good being back.
Good to be back. Well, I hope you have a nice weekend.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Good. And I hope that you all take good care.